The following is going to be a series of talks from Rabbi Solomon Hager on marriage and divorce in our modern era. The tragedy of this generation in the area of marriage and divorce, which never occurred in these statistical numbers in our prior generations, divorce was unheard of in our religious community. And I remember going back 60 years ago that when they recommended a girl or a boy, vice versa, and in the family there was a divorce, it didn't come in consideration to be a candidate in the minds of those interested in getting married. And even a brother in the family who was divorced, it reflected a bad odor on the candidate looking to get married. And through all the generations, going down thousands of years, even though the new industrial revolution, the rabbis and the theologians have always said to the young man to lower their arrogance and to lower your thinking about what you possess, to step down from your qualities and characteristics and talent that you possess, that you should be able to take a woman that she should be a mate instrumental in making your life better. Because women have not the wisdom and the intelligence and the makeup in order to grasp a husband on his standard and his qualifications that he possesses. In plain words, in Lashon HaKodesh, nechois dargo unesoiviso. Lower your arrogance of what you possess and step down a couple of steps in order that you should be able to raise the woman on your level. Marriage was a sacred institution that was without a flaw. Young men who got married at the age of 20 and 25, even though they didn't possess all the merits and qualifications, because they had a woman next to their side who supported them, and to overcome all resistance of life, that their persistence of both of them raised their intelligence, wisdom, and greatness to a next level which they couldn't even imagine when they were getting married. As it's written in the Bible, Echa echad yildev elef u'shnayim yinisa ravovo. It means that one will run after 1,000 and two will run after 10,000. But if a woman and a man work together in harmony, their production and imaginations make them produce 5 to 1 that if they would be alone. This advancement and success was fruitful till the Industrial Revolution and a woman's suffrage that passed in Congress in 1919 and created equal rights for a woman as a man, including voting, that was instrumental in raising psychological fabrication. As time for the woman, and as time went on, that she had and could attain the same virtues and privileges and talent, and even more than the man. The hearer of this series of talks has to understand that not only that his that this had an effect on a woman because a woman possesses more than, in fantasy, more than men in 90% of all clothing and even everything that is produced in the world is done to satisfy a woman, her fantasy. And her fantasy, in my estimate, that I may not be 100% correct, that in the 19th century, a woman went into a grocery store. What did she find? She found 2 or 3 pieces of bread, 2 or 3 dozens of eggs, a few pieces of fish, and some chicken and some meat. In other words, very little variety. So there was very little vein and very little issues between a man and a woman in a marriage that there should be any complications. When we go today to a modern supermarket, we see 150,000 different items. It means that there is 150,000 potential conflicts between the man and the woman due to the woman's fantasy. Because of that elaboration and development of the materialistic world, these new conditions can cause a short circuit and a chain reaction that leads up to the breakup and the lack of communication between both sides in marriage. And due to the fact that compared to the 20th century, you have today 350 million Americans living in America, and their displacement of materialism that faces the eyes and ears of every human being. That means that compared to 19th century, what we have today could afford and satisfy, what we have today could satisfy 350 million Americans. Compared to the 19th century, it means what we have today, it means that we have 20 billion people. And the truth of the matter, compared to the 19th century, we should have 8 or 10 presidents in order to leverage what was done in the 19th and 18th century. So the world has changed between the 19th and 20th and 21st centuries. The lack of communication between the man and woman is lacking.